Order number 66. A couple weeks ago, I decided to make themed food when my partner Vanessa and I watched Revenge of the Sith and The Siege of Mandalore. First of all, Millennium Falcon cutting board. I started off with white flour tortillas for the tortilla chips, cutting them into triangular shapes. Big, small, doesn't really matter. They're definitely not straight. That's fine. Spread them out evenly on baking sheets, spray with a little olive oil, and sprinkle with salt. Then place those in the oven for about 10 minutes, rotating halfway through. And next, it was time to start preparing the Mustafarian lava buns. We make the dough with 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of butter, melted, 1 tablespoon sugar, 2 teaspoons instant dry yeast, a cup and a half of warm milk, and red food coloring for that lava look. I had accidentally added the flour first instead of gradually last, but that's alright. I'm just going to mix and knead the dough, lay some flour down, and knead it until it gives a little bit of a bounce back when you poke it. Then place it in a clean bowl, cover with plastic wrap, and set it aside for 1 hour. While that dough is rising, we can arrange the red bell peppers for Ahsoka Tano's red pepper dip. Place those in the oven for half an hour at 500 degrees. Forget about those because it's time to start the famous Kashyyyk dish, Mushbloom Pie. It starts with peeling and quartering 3 russet potatoes, then adding them to a large pot and covering with water. Boil and simmer for 12 minutes until tender, then drain, add butter, milk, and start mashing. You're just making standard mashed potatoes here. Add salt, pepper. I like mine a little chunky, so place those aside because it's time to check on the red peppers, and they're looking crisp. Put those in a bowl and forget about them again. Back to mushbloom pie. 2 carrots. Peel and dice. Put them in a bowl. 2 stalks celery, chopped and diced. Put them in a bowl. Get a ton of mushrooms. The white ones get sliced and the portobellos get quartered. Don't forget to clean them first. Put them in a bowl. And one for good luck. Onion time. I'm cutting them this way to reduce the amount of time crying. I'm saving all of that for the Siege of Mandalore. Dice that onion, and garlic too. In a large pan, heat olive oil and butter on medium-high until the oil shimmers. Then add carrots and celery, mushrooms, onion, and garlic. Mix those around for a few minutes or until they get soft. Add Worcestershire sauce, tomato paste, a little oregano, and a littler paprika, and cook for another couple of minutes. Once that's done, pour the filling into a baking dish and cover evenly with mashed potatoes. Sprinkle some Parmesan cheese and dollop butter on top. It's good to go in the oven for 30 minutes. Remember those red peppers, remove the skin, stem, and seeds. Place them in a food processor with plain Greek yogurt, garlic, a tablespoon of lemon juice, and a dash of salt and pepper. Secure that lid and puree into oblivion. Test it out. Tastes good. Put it in a bowl. Time for the lava bun topping. 1 cup rice flour, teaspoon instant dry yeast, tablespoon sugar, tablespoon veg oil, salt, warm water, and start mixing with food coloring until the darkest possible color is achieved. Let it sit for a few, then apply the topping on the buns. Next time we'll try black food gel coloring as the recipe calls for, instead of just mixing colors. The oven's still not free yet, so we're going to get the blender out, adding 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk, a banana, a bag of frozen strawberries, a tablespoon of, I had an incident with the unsweetened cocoa powder, but that, a hefty dollop of peanut butter, and chocolate chips. Secure that lid and puree until it looks like this. We're going to go ahead and pour that out into our Darth Maul mug. Then, once full, garnish with strawberries and chocolate chips. And voila, there we have it, our Darth Maul-Shake. Gonna go ahead and give that a try while it's fresh. But there's no time. The mushbloom pie is ready to take out of the oven and oh man, it looks good. Not yet though, because now it's time to bake the lava buns at 400 degrees until they look like this. In the meantime, arrange the homemade tortilla chips and the store-bought blue ones to resemble a Togrutas leku. Vanessa, who has much steadier hands than me, was kind enough to draw on Ahsoka's facial markings in a makeshift piping bag filled with Greek yogurt. And it looks so good. She did think it would be funny to add chocolate chips for eyes, and she was correct. And there we have it, Ahsoka's red pepper dip. I'm gonna take the lava buns out of the oven and sprinkle them with just a dash of sea salt to give them that freshly maimed and singed look. And now everything is done and ready to eat. The Ahsoka red pepper dip, the Maul-Shakes, the Mushbloom Pie, and the Mustafarian lava buns. Vanessa and I did a little photo shoot, and it was time to start our marathon. We started with the Siege of Mandalore, pairing the Ahsoka red pepper dip with some of her scenes. And next, the Maul-Shakes for the infamous duel. We finished that, started Revenge of the Sith, and finally cut into the Mushbloom Pie using the catula. This, out of the 4 recipes we made that day, was definitely my favorite. So I'm going to have to thank Jenn Fujikawa and Mark Sumarek, who wrote the Star Wars Life Day Cookbook. It was a perfect Wookiee pairing with the scenes on Kashyyyk. And of course, we couldn't watch the climactic finale on Mustafar without peace, freedom, justice, security, and our new Mustafarian lava buns. I had been racking my brain about what to call this menu, all foods relating to this short period of time in a galaxy far, far away, and that's when it hit me.